Hi everyone, this is Lolly. I'm back today showing you more of my crafts gone by. And crafts gone by are projects that I used to do but just haven't had time, or I've just kind of lost interest and moved on to other things. I've done a series of working on making and decorating bags, totes, purses, etc. because I'm a real bag lady. I just collect them. I have a hard time saying no to a new bag. So anyway, mostly today I want to focus on ones that I've made from scratch, but I did do a series, through my life of canvas bags that I've decorated, and I did a video about fabric painting, in which I showed a fabric bag that I had painted with Winnie the Pooh, and I really love that bag. This is my, it's small as you can see. It's my very first fabric applique using rubber stamps. At the time I was a consultant for Close to My Heart, which was dots, and I stamped these two, and then I stamped this watermelon on the two different colors of fabric, cut out the pieces, appliqued it, and sewed around them. And I did the same back here as well, and I sewed buttons on it. And then I have to cover this up because it's got my address on it. I used shrink plastic, and I stamped the same watermelon onto the shrink plastic, and I think I colored it in with colored pencils, and then I shrunk it. I wrote my address on it, and I shrunk it, and it is really cute to have that matching watermelon tag. So let me put that aside. When I was doing a lot of sewing, my daughter had made a really cute bag, and I fell in love with it. And I got the pattern from her suggestion, and I love these bold colors. Isn't this cute? And as you can see, it's actually reversible. So what I did, I got the pattern, and then I went to thrift store and I picked up these two fabrics here and used them to make this tote bag. I love it. And I don't know where I got it from. I had this jumbo button, but it was the wrong color, so I actually just spray painted it orange. And the button is just there as a decoration. It's not really doing anything, but it's just so bright and bold and colorful. I still really love that. And then the same daughter got me this, it was a book full of patterns on making purses because she knows my love of purses. And I just used fabrics that I had on hand. And this is pillow ticking fabric, and I'd gotten these on clearance or whatever. I've got a magnetic snap right there. And there's pockets on the inside, or one big pocket, I should say. No, it's a divider. Haven't used this for a while. But anyway, really cute little purse. And then when I was into my crocheting a lot, I loved the feel of this. I don't know what it is, but it's like a chenille yarn, and I had made this little bag, and I thought I would make a fabric lining for it to give it some stiffness, but I never did. And it's just sitting there in my closet. Then I went through my wool yarn and felting time period. I made this purse without a pattern. I just started crocheting and playing with it, and then I felted it. The button is purely decorative. It has nothing to do with anything. It's just a little flap here. And the reason the flap looks so narrow is just because the purse is lying flat. But when it's filled, the flap is more reasonably sized for the purse. So anyway, another fun project. And while I was in my felting mode, I made a lot of these one year. I was making them for gifts for friends, and I crocheted out of wool yarn these little cosmetic purselets sort of thing, and I felted them in my washing machine, and then I hand sewed the zippers in place. And then to cover my stitching, I added trim around them on the inside and the outside. And these were a real big hit. I had a whole bunch of different colors, and it's a really fun project to work with. Now, something that I did not make but is in my precious collection. My mother, the only craft that she was really into was leather tooling. And she was a phenomenal leather tooler. I didn't realize it at the time, but, and this is really stuck, I need a new zipper on it, and I need someone that does leather work to help me out here. It's got some threads that's sticking, and the zipper is torn here, if you could see that. So you know, I hesitate to even mess with it. But I never realized just what a phenomenal leather tooler she was until, as an adult, I began to notice other leather toolers and their crafting, and to see how much depth my mother put into her designs. It's like the leather tooling that I see now. Let me just zoom in. I think it'd be better. The leather tooling I see now, it's all very shallow, and she was very good at it. I don't know how to explain it, but I see such depth to her work. And let me show you the bigger purse she made for me. So my mother made me a larger purse, and look at this one. Isn't this phenomenal? She took images from anywhere. She did have pattern books, but she also took this off of my coloring book at the time. That's what was amazing to me. And then to make it look like his wings were fluttering quickly, she just kind of took the colors of ink and carried it out here to make a blur. This is all her original dye job too. You can see there's a leaf in here, a leaf in there, and she's got this little, it says hand carved by, I think. But look at that work. It's so beautiful. And you know, the stitching is starting to wear out right there. So I'd love to find someone that does leather tooling that could restitch this for me, because what an amazing project. These were labors of love. You could see the depth at which she got in all of her images. Just phenomenal. We used to have more of her projects, but we found that through the years, you know, the stitching fell off or something happened, and we just lost a lot of the projects. And then when I was a young adult, her entire set of leather tools, just on the spur of the moment, she gave them all to a friend of hers who wasn't even a crafty person. And I was devastated, because I always thought I would get her leather tooling collection. She had quite a bit, and it was very expensive to build up this collection. But she gave it to her friends, so I never really, I mean, I made a couple small things when I was a child to play around, and I don't even think I have those anymore. Not nearly as good quality as what she did. It took a lot of time, you know, and effort to do these. So if you're a leather tooler, you will appreciate that. So I know that it was, any of you leather toolers out there, I can imagine that it would be hard to really make money off of this, because I know how many hours my mother spent working on these. And she told me that the reason she had stopped doing leather tooling was because her hands had gotten too shaky. And you could see from the precision work that you really need to be precise, like on the leaves and everything. And this little, I remember this stamp that made that texture. It was tiny, and it really took a lot of time to pound all this down to do the background. But I just thought you would appreciate that too, a little sneak peek into what my mother did in all of this about making purses and making totes. And I just thought this would be a perfect thing to share with you as well. Thank you for watching.